Station Banter with Tony Smith.
Razor. And welcome back to the studio, friends. And we're joined in the studio with none other than the Star Theatre Company in Belfast, in here to talk about their big projects coming up. I have to say, it's getting warm in here, isn't it? It is. I'm not no friends, you know what's going to happen. So there you go. Look at that there. Look at that there. I nearly hit another traffic warden. Marion Kenny's live in the studio today, and Alex Taggart. Marion, thanks for coming in the studio. Good to see you.
Good to see
Alex, thanks for coming in the studio,
Thanks
sir.
for asking us, Tony.
Good. So we're just going to get all my shout-outs done, and then we'll get back and straight into the banter. So, big shout-out to, you know who it is, Matthew T. Metzler over in Ohio and Cleveland and New Mexico. Let me see, Miss Anufa over in Saudi Arabia, Miss Doyle, big Razor Miss Doyle in Moscow, all my friends over in London, all across England, and indeed all across the world. Thanks for tuning into the Banter Show. Let's get the show on the road. Marion Kenny, how are you?
I'm great, Tony, and it's great to be here. So it is.
Yeah, long
Thanks very
time no
much.
see.
Yeah.
You're looking well, girl, I have to say. You're
The charmer.
Are you kept busy?
I were kept not too bad. The last time I saw you was at Stranmillis.
In Stranmillis. That was a while back, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right, Tony.
I don't know how long ago it was, but I've been here, there and everywhere
That was
since.
about 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago? Whoa, can't believe that.
We were so busy.
Yeah.
We've moved to Malone now, so we have. So
Oh,
we've
you're in
got a
Malone?
a bigger spot, you know.
Bigger
to work in.
space. Because that was a grand studio space
wasn't
you had
bad,
there.
you know. We had one big room in Stranmillis, you know, for rehearsals, but then up the stairs, you know, it was a wee bit hard for some of the disabled ones to go up and down.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we work mostly with, you know, autism people, and sometimes, you know, there's a couple of wheelchairs and stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't easy. But the place we are now in Malone, it's really good.
Oh, very good, very good. And Alex Taggart, you've flown in for the Banter Show today.
Definitely, I'm flown from Liverpool.
Check it out, guys. He's flown in from Liverpool for the Banter Show. So
Well,
check
I've
that
more
out.
sailed in than actually flown in.
Oh, well, you sailed in on that.
Yeah, sailed in on the ferry 8 hours.
8 hours from Liverpool.
Yes, it's 8 hours.
Would it given it that there with the rowing or what?
Well, I must admit, probably getting out and pushing would probably be better. I must admit.
You should have the feet out the back of it, given it that.
Yeah, getting a bit of backstroke there.
So you're a theatre director.
No, it's media officer.
Media officer.
As far as my deal is concerned with the Star Theatre, is that one thing, as Marion touched on there with the autism, and we Star Theatre actually started off as an autism support group. How it developed is that some of our members, sort of, member families went along to a theatre group, and they found that, shall I say, their family members, as it were, you know, who had autism, it really helped them with, the theatre and the acting lessons. So this is how it sort of turned into, well, let's do a theatre company. For me, I have to say that I'm quite lucky because I'm kind of in the autism spectrum of having various interesting little quirks. But
Don't
yeah,
we know?
Definitely.
Well, if it's anything to do with the Star Theatre Company, there's going to be quirky, let me tell you.
It's definitely going to be quirky. But yeah, it is essentially, I have to be grateful as they've kind of, given me a chance and working on placement for them.
Yeah.
As sort of, helping out with Etsy media stuff, promoting shows, and generally getting Etsy Star Theatre in public eye.
Yeah.
And of course meeting wonderful people like you, Tony.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Alex. You know, he's going to go a long way, this man,
Yes,
I have to
I
say.
definitely
am. And I have to say, recently, there's been a lot of autistic charities coming in here, Autistic Mums of Newry, and indeed Newry Inc. Tattoo parlour, and they're going to do 7 different tattoos.
Fantastic.
There's going to be a big charity day here up in Newry.
Oh, brilliant.
For autism
Yeah.
charities, and they're all going to help. They're going to kind of get together and help out each other, and so it's all positive, and it's all, it is great,
I mean, like Alex says there, we started off 2009 in Mid-Antrim, Ballymena area, where Liam Neeson's from. Same town. Oh, another plug.
Oh yes. You have some good photographs of them too, haven't you?
Oh,
You see, let's.
Aye.
Yeah.
But when he visited Ballymena Town Hall there last
got the
year,
freedom,
I think it
didn't he?
was.
You got the freedom
Aye, got
of-
the freedom of the borough. So he did, aye.
Yeah.
And we were all out in full force that day. All the weans, all the kids, all standing, wait for hours and hours in the rain and the cold, just waiting for a chance to talk to him. And he went round and shook her hand, so it was worth the wait.
Well, there you
After-
go.
So it was, and a great man, you know.
Fabulous actor
Oh,
too, isn't he?
Fabulous.
And a good, all-round good person.
Aye.
You know,
Yes,
he's a
indeed.
great man for charities and everything else.
Like, so we started there, and then we kind of moved, to Belfast then, and about a year and a half later, because we found that a lot of the kids were coming from Belfast and Ballymena, and they just wanted to mix with each other.
Yeah.
There wasn't much in Mid-Antrim at that time. So then we branched out, and the first place we went to was High Street, which was, a cathedral quarter. So,
Yeah.
it's up and coming. Of course, Culture Night's coming up. The big, Culture Night every year in the cathedral quarter with thousands in the street.
It'll be packed, won't it?
Oh, it'll be packed this
There's a
year.
good buzz about it, isn't
Oh,
there?
it's great.
Yeah.
It really is brilliant.
There is a good. And have you got anything going now for that?
Aye, we do. Do you know what? We've got a show on, it's about 1900s Belfast. It's called Built in Belfast.
Built in Belfast, friends.
It's also basically set around the time of the Titanic.
Yeah, the 1900s and all
Yeah,
that.
that-
And there is there's a massive interest in the Titanic, and it's worldwide, isn't it?
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
And indeed, I was involved in a short film by Mark Corn, raise our Mark, and it finished off with a Titanic scene that nobody expected. And the film was actually called Into the Fire.
Wow.
And it was set back in the day, and you got all the old props and everything.
Yeah, brilliant.
Filmed in a castle, Narrowwater Castle, which is only
Wow.
6 miles down the road. Fabulous big spot, you
That'd
know.
be great. I think I saw some of that online. You had
Yes,
some of it,
it's a silent black and white.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great fun filming it, you know.
Oh,
And there's a legendary theatre actor here in Newry, Charlie Smith.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Charlie. And I'm sorry for hurting you, Charlie. Did not mean to hurt you on that shoot. I really didn't. I had a man handle him. He was coming down the stairs with a candelabra.
No way, Tony.
And I had to sneak around the corner and grab by the neck and fire him down. And the man's in his 80s, you know. Charlie, you know I didn't mean it, you know. But he's a good man, you know.
Thousands wouldn't.
No,
Or
no,
joking.
I know that. Millions won't. But Charlie, no, we're all right. We're all good friends, and as I
Fantastic.
say, a great theatre actor, Charlie. So
I heard that name.
yeah, I'm sure Neil Heaney would have maybe speaking about Charlie.
Wee Neil is a great wee star, so yes.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
He's fantastic. He's from this neck of the woods, so yes.
He is indeed. He was on the Banter show a few
was he?
weeks ago. Yeah,
That's right. That's
And
right. He was telling me
I'll
that.
say we'll give you guys the big shout out and all, you know.
Neil plays a wee character at the start. He's Tommy in the show, and basically, he's standing in the street talking, bantering away to his other wee friend Robert in the street. He plays a cobbler's son in the show, and it's basically about 1900s industry. It's not about the Titanic, but the Titanic
There is a
layers
lot,
in the background.
but there is a lot in it.
Sort of
There's
thing.
a fair bit, actually. There are. I mean, there's one scene, for example, where there's talk about where there was also a lot of immigration from Ireland, potentially at the time as well, and Titanic features. I mean, there was one particular scene where it says, "Oh, I had my good friend go over, but he never came back." Kind of
There's a
thing. So
reference.
there is a sort of a salute to the people lost their lives during the disaster.
But it's just called the Big Boat. We don't actually even refer to it as the Titanic
Yeah.
because we want to focus on the Hughes Bakery, the mill workers, and all the other industries that were going on. The cobblers,
At the time,
the
yeah.
newspaper sellers, and the ordinary people, the nurses, and the War of the Somme, of course. And that's
Of
in the
course,
background
yeah.
for it.
Because it was a completely different world back in the day. Don't get me wrong, same geography, but different time, completely
Yeah, it
different.
was.
No
Oh.
technology,
Yeah.
for a start.
Yeah.
And communication was by
Yeah.
either newspaper telling people, or
Well, there was a telegraph. There
Yeah.
was a telegraph at the time. I mean, there is we've got a post on our Facebook page, on the events page, where we got 1900 Belfast, the turn of the century, and it's a ride on old electric tram. So you can, it is literally looks like another planet.
Yeah.
But you'd appreciate sort of all the fashions, and there wasn't naturally the technology it has now, but certainly the modern world was very much sort of coming to being with electric, with essentially the telegraph. But even so, there was still a lot of old, Victorian traditions. Some of the fashions you can see it in this film clip are still, no, dating back from the Victorians, some of the old ladies, it's like us really, when you see some old ladies, they're still dressed in like 1950s. It's the old ladies are there dressed in the equivalent of Victorian times. So, in that respect, it's kind of people never change in that sense.
He's a man that follows fashion, this boy here.
He's a fashionista.
He's fashionista like myself. I make costumes for a living.
Yeah, make costumes for a living.
And he makes LARP costumes, which is live action role play, which is another thing we're developing with
you
the
actually
autism.
He makes costumes?
Well, it's just it's a kind of another branch. What we do at sort of Star Theatre, we do mobile things. I mean, one thing we do is make costumes, but mainly for order. If someone wants to hire a costume, we don't have it, then we will make it. Usually the service for film and theatre productions if they need it. But I mean, the thing of the LARP or interactive theatre is that's very much just on the development stage. Very much, and
you've heard it here first, friends.
It is very much a first. It is very much your first official announcement.
Well, there you go. There you go.
But basically, it's to touch on it. Really, it's essentially the idea is that you rather than traditional theatre, you have a seated audience, you have a stage. You throw away the seated audience, you throw away the stage. The audience is actually, it's 180 virtual reality setup, and you physically walk through the environment.
Is it, sorry to break your word, Alex, is it like an amphitheatre sort of scenario?
No, I guess the best way to describe it, I mean, you've probably been heard like virtual reality, with computer graphics. But instead, what we do is that we take traditional theatre methods and set building, and you can explore this sort of world that we've created. But the difference is also the, I guess, audience don't really become really an audience, because they actually get characters as well. So they can actually affect the outcome of the story, whether sort of the the heroes win or the sort of baddie triumphants.
Yeah. Say the heroes are villains, isn't it?
Heroes and villains. So it's very it's something that's sort of very you in Northern Ireland. I mean,
instead of game time, it's real time, we call it.
Yeah.
Because the kids, instead of sitting in front of the TV screens, because a lot of autism kids, they do game quite a lot,
right,
and they can be quite isolated. But this gets them involved socially in drama, gets them involved, with more activity, more socialising, and just gets them real life, real time gaming.
Yeah. And I mean, you've seen this operating for a couple of years now, and you know how it operates. But you've seen the change in autistic kids, haven't you?
Oh, it's been amazing. Oh, you know what I mean? We've had our membership sort of online has grown to 4,000 online, but all over the UK and Ireland, and Wales, all over sort of thing. But the ones that we have over here, they support us all the time.
There's a viewer.
There's a viewer at the door.
Let's go that way. Andrew, we're just going to shout to our studio manager for a second. If you could just check that gentleman there, look. We're just live on air here at the minute.
It happens. You can tell it's live, can't you?
How good's this, friends? Huh? Only in the Banter show, friends. Now you know why. There's no scripted, Banter show. Anything's likely to happen in the studio.
Definitely.
Anything can happen at any time in the studio. But listen, let's get back to that, Marion. So is the play kind of structured for autistic kids to get them involved more? And
it kind of is, because we have 4 of our casts who are in the spectrum, in the ADHD, ASD spectrum, and we have an ASD writer who helped, idea the script, but it's a collaborative piece, so we all actually did our own research for each character and made our own character our own. I play Nurse Mary New in the show.
Nurse Mary, there she is, live on the sofa.
Live on the sofa. And we have some filmmakers. We've actually got into a wee bit of filmmaking, and some of the filmmakers are going to actually film it as well and do a wee bit with
very
it.
Very good.
To try and we have Michael here with us today. He's on the fringes.
Michael's not in the camera shot, friends, but he's giving us all a big thumbs up, so that's good enough for me.
He's doing a student film, called Sleep Smile, which is another autistic story which we have, which basically outlines the story of how we started as a group, Star Theatre. Because we started, as Alec has said, as a group of parents, just for ASD spectrum families, basically, to get together, in Northern Ireland only. And as I say, it's grown. Well, most of our supporters are in Northern Ireland, because that's our main thrust, that's where we work.
Yes.
And the Sleep Smile film, it's basically about how, basically myself and my young son Lee, who's a full-time actor and who's worked with Tony in the past.
Lee, big shout out to Lee, he's a great lad. Tell him I was asking for him, Razor Lee.
He'd be so glad to
It was
hear.
good to talk to John on the phone yesterday too. Big shout out to John. So.
Well, he'll be pleased. You see, John, he got sent to Everton because we were in a film called Noirland, and it was done by a Northampton director called Philip Henry, who's an Irish horror writer. Another shout out to,
That's
to
the
Philip Henry.
Noirland project, is it?
Aye, no, it's kind of like a film, so it was. It was
There's another guy, is there James Devereaux involved in that?
not sure about that one.
Yeah,
But I
because
tell you,
there is.
it could be something like that. Aye.
Sorry.
But he had, he's an Irish horror writer, he's online and does it all the time. and John, he was sat in the corner one day, and somehow or some way he got into the main shot.
Good man, John. Like
He
your
wasn't
style,
even
John.
asked, he wasn't even meant to be there, but somehow he got into the shot.
I know, John must have been sitting and giving it the early, and then he must have done that there, and then just kind of slid into it,
Yeah, it slid on.
You slid into
this is wandering.
You slid into the shot, John.
It was
slid
a
into it.
sneaky walk through. I was actually
Walk
thinking.
on part. John just walked on, no
Yeah,
bother.
what I walked on there was a shopping bag in his hat and his raincoat, and
He was in
doing
with,
sort of an actually, Eric Morecambe there,
So he was in with Richard Sherwood and the leading lady as well in the show, and it was in a main shot, so he was sneaky, that one.
Oh, no bother, John. Like their style, sir. Like their style.
But the film, back to our film again, Sleep Smile, it's basically about autism, and how it started, because we tried to get more people in Northern Ireland in the arts, involved in the arts, that were from that community, because they had nothing really to stimulate them, and we found that, of course, it was over 12% of the population are autistic over here in Northern Ireland, growing all the time. I think the time we started in the 80s, it was only 10%, now it's something like 15, 16
It's
more.
incredible. I don't know whether is it the population's getting bigger and it's just the population was smaller back then. I don't know what it is, but I know it's great to be able to do something for them and give them a big plug. And as I say, there's lots happening here in Newry for autism.
That's brilliant.
And I mean, there is lots. I'm overwhelmed about how many different autism charities and different autism connections of it.
Oh, it's great.
And there's going to be a big thing happening in Newry in October the 9th.
Fantastic.
So
because we actually, when we were starting off, we were lobbying some of our MPs over here because they didn't even have proper rights. And then, of course, the autism bill came in 2011.
In 2011, it only came in?
As late as that.
I'm
and
shocked.
we could not believe it, because we started off in 1998. So we were plugging away, working with other groups and stuff, and just plugging away, for information and awareness and all the usual things,
Because there is not enough awareness, is there? There's not.
No.
As I say, I had 3 different, autism groups in here over a period here, and I've learned a bit myself, whereas, people saying, if an autistic child, just throws a wee wobbly, if you like, and there's people going, look at that spoiled brat there, is what the normal thing is.
Isn't it, the way,
the normal people, so we are uneducated about it, and the more education we can get about us and to help us understand, that's what we need, and that's what we're prepared to do here in the studio, And
of course, you have a famous, what do you call the singer, the stout lady, the really famous singer. I'm a wee bit, with names, I'm not so good. I'm on the autistic spectrum myself.
Only in the Banter show, friends. Is it Montserrat Caballé that sung with Freddie Mercury?
It was the wee lady, that won, what was it?
Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle. Susan Boyle.
Went from
the famous
Montserrat
Asperger's
Caballé
sufferer.
to Susan Boyle. There you go,
the
friends.
Scottish, famous Asperger's sufferer, and of course she came out public, but only recently, so it's only in my psyche recently.
There you go.
But you know what I mean? She's a famous sufferer, and of course there's quite a few others, and also
but look at
Leonardo
the talent she has.
Leonardo DiCaprio has ADHD.
Leonardo, has he?
He has indeed. He wrote it in his book, in his autobiography. So I couldn't even
You
believe
live and
that.
you learn, don't you?
I couldn't
You live
believe
and you
that at
learn.
all. You know what I mean? And it
But
just
as I
shows
say, let's get back to you know you mentioned Susan Boyle, but look at the talent the girl
oh,
has.
she's amazing.
You know, nobody heard her sing until the X Factor, and next thing, what?
Yeah.
Where did this come from? But it shows you
Hidden talent, yeah.
everybody's got a hidden talent somewhere. There,
They
you know,
do,
there's a
they-
lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to extract it, and you're doing a good job with the Star Theatre
Oh, thank
Company.
you. But I was so heartbroken for that one because you remember how they laughed at her at the start?
Oh,
She
yeah.
was starting there, you know, and then she actually became sort of, what would you say, you know, she had to get treatment at one stage, you know, because it was so overwhelming, you know.
Of course.
Being faint, but she gave so much love of herself, and then all of a sudden she needed something back, you know, and there
Yeah.
just wasn't anything there. There was no network of support. And then finally, you know, that actually raised awareness. Her being honest enough to actually say to the public, hold on a minute, I need help here. You know, I've got
Yeah.
Asperger's. So it was so inspiring, you know,
Yeah.
to hear that, you know.
It really
she
is,
did.
yeah. It's terrific, you know.
No.
So
So-
you've got Built in Belfast coming, Sleep Smile, which is a film,
Yeah.
and there's another one, isn't there?
Our first foray into filmmaking in a big way.
Why not? Why not? Well, you've been involved in theatre, so you know. I know it's a different step
loads of
to
stuff going on.
filmmaking, but Marion, you've got the drive. You'll get there, and you've got a good man here, Alex.
We get the good man at the helm here.
We're
We've got the
certainly going
Lark
to try.
Theatre.
We're certainly going to give it our all. That's certain. I
Um,
mean, there's the. I mean, we've got some really talented musicians in doing the music for Built in Belfast.
Yeah, River Finn, his name is.
Oh.
River Finn, if you look him up online.
River Finn. What is he, a guitarist?
He's a singer-songwriter guitarist, and he
Brilliant.
makes you cry when you listen to his
Will
music.
not make me cry. I've heard them all. River Finn, get in here to the Banter show. See, can you make me cry? There's one for you.
Real name Rowan McCready.
Oh.
So River Finn, and we actually met him in Liverpool of all places. Of course, he is a Belfast man, but we met him in Liverpool when we were working on doing our LARP development, our live action role play theatre LARP development.
Interactive theatre,
Because we did it for 5 months. We've just finished the 5 months development for that.
Very good.
We're bringing it over to Northern Ireland because it's a fairly new scene over here. But I'm digressing again. He's written a song for Ruan has written a song, 2 songs for Belfast, Built in Belfast play. And one of them's called, let me think now what it's called. It's not Pebbles, Connections. And there's another one he's written about the Newtonards, you know, the sea, and coming in from Newtonards, because Lily, who was in the show, she's from Newtonards, and she comes into the big smoke from Newtonards. And, you know, in the 1900s, and what life was like, you know, from both sides of the community, you know, different communities together. And of course the song was a big backdrop to this story, you know, with the war theme that's going on at the minute. So we're tying it into Belfast Culture Night, basically, and that festival when it starts, you know, on
Yeah.
19th of next month.
19th
I can't believe
September.
it. Yeah.
That's going to fly in,
That's going to
Marion.
fly in.
That is
I'm getting
gonna-
scared now.
It's on the 22nd, our show.
Yes.
So 21st.
That's correct.
21st. Beg your pardon.
21st.
21st September.
22nd,
Get
that was another
them, get them rehearsals done.
22nd.
there, be square.
Definitely 21st.
Time to crack
of
the whip.
actually
Yeah.
21st of September. Be there, be square. as they say.
Yeah, because we're doing it every Thursday night, so we rehearsal, so there'll be one going on the night, so well. And John, he's taking the helm again, our John that sneaks into all the actions.
All the main scenes. Good man, John. John's going to be in Sleep Smile, that's for sure. Main role.
I would love you to act in Sleep Smile, I swear. I'd love you
Yeah.
to be in a part in it.
Well, there you go.
I have a part for you.
We'll work that out after the Banter show here. We're not going to let you know just yet. Anything happen, we'll let you know after the 21st of September. So that's the way
I
that
have to get
works.
through that one first, Tony. That'll be hard enough.
I'm sure you'll get through it, Marion.
Do you know what it is? It's in a fabulous place called the Big Life Arts Centre, and that's a new actual festival with the Smithfield Festival. Is a
Oh, in
new one.
Smithfield, is that where it's going to be held?
Aye, but it's we didn't get in quick enough to the Smithfield Festival,
Right.
but we're in the Big Life Arts Centre, which is Terry Hooley's vibration shop, good vibration shop. It's
Brilliant.
just in the same spot.
Bit of history there.
A bit of history there. Oh, it's great. Terry Hooley's sporting as well.
Right, her Terry Hooley.
But big shout out for you.
Big shout out to Terry. You know.
Yeah.
Banter show, Terry. Come in to the Banter show someday.
He's a fabulous man, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, he's a great man. I mean,
oh.
there's a man who went through the troubles and just kept his music going, basically.
I've done
kept
some-
everybody coming to him.
I have indeed, and also Arthur McGee. He works with Terry Hooley doing the Welcome Belfast, you know, the tours, the Belfast tours, and we did some costumes for them there earlier in the summer. And of course, we sneaked away in, you know, to Terry Hooley's, and we photo shoot and all. Of course, we managed to get our mugs everywhere, Tony.
Well, listen, your mug's all
sneak
across
in.
the world right here, right now, you know.
You just reminded me.
Yeah. But it's great. Spread. That's why you're in here. You're in here to spread the word.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's good fun.
There was another play.
There's another wee play. It's called Occupy. So it is.
Is that the Ford Vistian workers?
No, sorry, that was another one.
That was
we
another
were
one.
going to work with John Dunn Irish Theatre with that one. So we were, but it didn't come off because they didn't actually go through with it or whatever it was. But I think they're going to start it up again, and there's a new director. Ronan. Miss Kimmin, I think he's going to direct it, but I'm not sure. But
the script with that was pretty
it was
pretty
good, wasn't
You
it?
you sent me the script for a role, and I went through it.
It was a good laugh. But they had it on before, so they had in I can't remember, was it Dunmurray? I can't remember where they had it. It was a few years ago, But I would keep in touch with John Dunn, and we're going to talk about a wee show in London eventually. He's going to help us out to try and find a wee spot, free.
Yeah.
Hopefully free. We can get in and do a wee show. Just with some of the children,
Because
he's a good director.
Sorry to break you. There's a few. There's a couple of new theatre companies just started.
Wow, is there? Ah.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that after the Banter show here.
Fantastic.
So I'll keep you up to date because
it
could go in your favour here, because they're looking all new acts, they're looking everything,
Fantastic. We turned down a show there in London in the Queen's Theatre. It was the big theatre in London, the West End anyway. So it was for the dance show because we hadn't time. Because we were so busy with the filmmaking, because the filmmaking seems to have taken off more so than some of the dance shows. But what we've done in Occupy Belfast, which is our other play, is we've combined dance with that. So we've got 2 street dance scenes. And also in the film, our film, we have 2 street dance scenes in it as well. So it has to be filmed at the end of August in Belfast. So there's plenty of dance movement going on, even though we haven't got a show yet in the West End, for some of the kids.
Are you doing the choreography for the dancing?
No, we were bringing a couple of choreographers in. I can't even pronounce the man's name. He's going to love me, isn't he? Rodolphe. I call him Rodolphe.
So we'll know who we are, but we can't say your name. But anyway, so you have choreographers coming in.
Yeah, just the odd one or two, you know what I mean? And they're all sort of like, they're all trained and stuff. But
that's what you need, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you need,
But I mean, some of the they let us do it, on an amateur level. So they do anyway, as long as we're kind of supervised, in case we don't break each other's heads or something in the middle of the show.
No broken heads. Hopefully not.
I have seen the battle wounds after a rehearsal with Adolphe. It's brutal.
It is brutal.
I tell you, the most slightly amusing one is that somehow one of the dancers managed to clip actually Marion in the eye. How they managed to do that, I have no idea.
You nearly end up with a black eye.
Do you want me to explain? It could take all day.
Yes, I've put her on the spot now. I've been
there you go.
I literally could take all day. No, you'll laugh at me, but it was hip hop, so believe it or not. I don't want to tell you my age, but I'm still doing hip hop, yes. Weird as it sounds.
Coming up your 40th birthday. 20 quid.
And the rest.
I'll demolish all the birthdays in this show just for 20 quid.
And the rest. A wee bit older. But what I was going to say was that I was swinging one of the guys, believe it or not. He's the same size as me, roughly. Swinging around, doing a burley. The next thing, when I was settling down, he went, he just sort of jerked. But it was because of his autism, he just went, and I went, I got it there.
Oh.
Apart from that, it was safe. Reasonably safe, reasonably. But you have to watch.
Oh, you do.
It's good fun,
It's good fun, certainly. But it's like, it's slightly different. The theatre's different to the filmmaking, as in
it isn't.
You have to do everything in the theatre. You have to do it there without break. It's different. You can take a break filming and start all over again and that.
We support other theatre groups. Like Katrina King's group. She's another. She's actually a crime writer. She's written the Craig series.
Oh.
So she has online. She's done shows in the Mac. And she works for the Royal Shakespeare Company in the Lyric there, doing things. But she had a wee show in the Brian Friel not so long ago there in the summertime. She's asked us to collaborate with her as well on one of her own stories, in the future. So we'll be doing that as well.
You're up for that as well, then, yeah.
But we don't want to do too much. Just
you need
we're
to
booked up in the season.
We definitely have.
You'll be running
around in circles.
Listen, if I actually let Marion as a sort of media advisor. She just ended up doing every single show that entire existed in Northern Ireland. And no, so Marion, you can only do so much. You're only one person.
I'm only one person, but I have to
behave.
put the tentacles out.
But I have to say, she's a hard worker, Alex.
Oh,
this
yes,
lady works very, very
hard work. You cannot complain about that.
You know, and she's a lot to deal with. You do have a lot to deal with. You take everything on board, and you still manage to do your rehearsals and everything yourself.
Yeah, it's good fun, but you know, see if you weren't living on adrenaline, what would you be doing?
Well,
you wouldn't do it 24 hours.
You know what I mean? You're right.
If you didn't enjoy it, you wouldn't.
And you're still making props and costumes and.
I'm doing that all the time, Tony. To make the main money. You know,
because I mean, I've seen. I've been down up in other Star Theatre company, and I've seen some of the costumes. They are fabulous.
Oh, thanks.
They really are, and they're made to last. Yeah, that's the way I could see them. You know, they're very
made with
authentic.
love, so they are. They're made with love too.
They're made with love.
Because some of the kids all help out in it. You know, my son Lee, he's learning from Alex at the minute to make, believe it or not, swords and weapons, which we don't want to advertise too much. Because to do with live action role play.
Something for the future, but yeah, we got our first C templates in.
Yeah.
It is basically a sort of different leather armor. One, there's like a long armored long coat. And there is another two which are scout armor. It's got like a big hood. It looks like something that sort of walked out Lord of the Rings, essentially. A design, and to give a shout out says actually thank you to Dark Blades, who actually originally produced it for us, and give a bit of guidance on that. But yeah, I mean, we have just so much in development, and it's a case of just actually pacing ourselves more than anything else. You know, it says the we've, as far as Built in Belfast is concerned. I mean, of course, we've got the show on actually September the 21st. And then we have Chester up at the 11th Little Theatre, and then October, and then we have our, I guess, probably is our biggest show for us up in Liverpool in the Blackie, and there's this enormous Victorian Imperial building, so it really fits the. You know, the theme of the play. Yeah. You know, it gets people in the mindset when you walk into this grand Victorian building.
That's just perfect, isn't it? You couldn't have planned that one any better, could you? Big Victorian building.
Yeah, in November 28th, up in the Blackie in Liverpool. So, you know, we get a constant trading on that. It's just that, you know, there's pacing ourselves. But, you know, we to be honest, we could probably come back to the Banter show on time and tell you the next source of a big adventure.
Well, that's it.
Like pirates or elves and knights in armour and
can't believe
mad stuff. We've got ideas going on.
He was photographed.
Gino Lynch, you're only after hearing elves there, so I'll leave it. I'm not going to say a word about it. But there's a comedy coming up, and it's going to be coming out very soon. And it's just bizarre. That's all. Like, it's bizarre. It was great fun doing it. Laughs for us, I'm telling you. So, Alex, I noticed that's not a Liverpool accent you have.
There's actually a bit of a personal story, but to give you the short version of it, my dad is from Hungary, my mum is from Cheshire, and I was born in the Isle of Man. Basically, I'm a walking roadmap, to be honest. Yeah. And the short story of my dad, of how he came from Hungary, is essentially a bit of history. The Nazis during the Second World War basically did a coup, took over the government, put in a puppet government, and my dad basically ran away. And he was saying that, you know,
he had enough of this.
No, he didn't want to do with it. He was very headstrong, my dad, and he said, "I'm nothing to do with these, you know." Blah. Yeah. So the first thing he did, he went off, joined the French Resistance, and then he got recruited as a spy by the British Secret Service. So that's what he essentially did for the
That's where you got the action from.
Definitely.
That's where you got the action from, Fred. This man's, Marion, you've got a spy in the hood. This man can play a spy.
They all come into Star Theatre.
A dad of a spy, but I mean, he wasn't essentially possibly the best spy in the world because he got caught, but he managed to avoid getting shot. So I suppose that's a good thing for a spy, not to get shot.
Well, not to get shot's a big one, you know, especially in any war. If you get shot, you've lost that one. But I like your style. So he was a spy, and
but basically he came here because he was given citizenship as a reward to the crown, and you know, sort of working for the Allies instead of obviously for the Germans. But it was a crazy time, and like any sort of, you know, mass war. No, of course, we're remembering, you know, World War One, but you had mass emigration of like people sort of you know, swapping and changing countries. Just to try and, you know, survive and get away from the violence, anything else. And you know, my dad was certainly sort of actually one of them, sort of in his own way, to sort of turn around to fight, and you know, how dare they sort of take over and push me out of my country. Fortunately, he couldn't go back because for various political reasons. You know, Hungary was still in a mess after I should say Nazis left it, to be politically correct.
Yes, after the Nazis.
Yeah, definitely.
Because German people today are lovely people.
They are.
You know, it's good and bad wherever you go.
Actually, it's strange. I mean, if you look about the history, like World War One it's quite prevalent now, the anniversary, is that and the main reason while it actually came to an end is there was a lot of anti-war feeling amongst the, you know, common German people. It's only the high-ups who, you know, decide, yes, we want power, we want to do this, but the common people, we don't really want this.
Everybody wants peace and quiet. Get on with your life,
quiet
and
life, get on with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But big shout out, you know, I have a lot of friends over in Germany, and they're all good people, you know, and that's the way I like it, you know. That's the way I look at it. They're all good, positive people. There's good and bad wherever you go on the planet. Wherever you go on this planet, there's good and bad. So the good people come into the Banter show. There you go. But I enjoyed that story. So there, you know, Marion, there could be a play about this.
There could indeed. I was just thinking that.
I wish he was still.
The Star Theatre Company's just lit up there now.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably definitely story. And I mean, I wish he was still around in that sense, because it's. You know, and the general story about the British Secret Service at the time, how this sort of came into being, but it wasn't quite sort of like James Bond, but there were a few quirky things. I remember actually reading the manual once, and they actually had camel mines. They were actually to look like in the desert. They were actually mines that will look like
camels.
Camel poo, basically.
Oh, camel poo mines. Right.
You know, so they thought, oh, it's just a pile of
Right. So that's a camel mine. That's a camel mine. So at least I know what a camel mine is. We're not going into booby traps at this stage. Believe me, we're not going into booby traps.
Not. But there was a few crazy things. I thought it's just, you know, manure and step in it, and well, they get
Don't
more
step
than
on that one.
Yeah,
you're not going to be able to wipe the sole of your foot.
Definitely not. But there was some slightly crazy things. Almost probably why they got the ideas of something in James Bond. You know.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. But it's, you know, I'd love to hear more about all these gadgets and all. You know?
Yeah, but I know we're digressing.
Digressing. Yes.
Digressing.
Let's get back to the Star Theatre Company here. So, Marion, give us now, built in Belfast now. All their local cast and crew.
Yeah, there's Neil Heaney from this part of the world, Newry. We have Rowan McCready, whose music features in it strongly from River Finn's music. We have Lindsay Mitchell, who's another wee Belfast lady. She's playing Lily So Frilly.
Lily, she is Lily So Frilly. Lindsay's great girl.
She's the lead role, who's Granny Lily, who reminisces about her family. We have Patrick Davey. He's going to be playing the cobbler, John Walsh. and we have 2 or 3 that are coming in and out, but there's about 8 or 9 of a cast altogether, and we have 2 or 3 stand-ins, so whoever turns up on the night.
That's it.
Because we're disabled, we have to sort of work with 2 for each part.
Indeed, yes.
For the 4 that are disabled, so that's why, But if you look it up online, you'll see the pictures of all the cast there. You know what I mean?
Just shout into the website there, Marion,
It's
please.
startheatremedia.com.
startheatremedia.com. Friends, click on it, have a look. You'll be surprised to see the good work that Marion's doing here, and Alex is now back. Alex is now into the theatre company and
into the fold.
Into the fold. And
definitely into the fold. Hopefully, I'll stay. Hopefully, they'll let me stay.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a case like it says. You definitely have to be prepared when when you're working with sort of people with their quirks. So we really should have a sort of a second motto, just like the Boy Scouts: be prepared.
Yeah. And Lindsay Mitchell's a great girl. She's very upbeat, positive girl. She was my wife in a feature film not too long ago, last year.
Is that Gary Wheels' film? No.
No. It's a Kieran Davies film.
Yes.
Granuwali.
Oh yes.
Blood sales, and it's going to 16th century.
Fantastic.
Based, and
wow.
I had a good role in it. So and great crack with Lindsay. Great working with you, Lindsay, and I've met her, since that in Belfast.
Fantastic.
With a big screening up there. Few different screens, BFI, the British Film Institute, and
fantastic.
So it's great to meet. Going to Belfast and out there, and but she's a good, upbeat, positive girl, and good fun to be in set with.
Oh, she is.
She definitely is.
She definitely is. She supported us from the start, and did different things for the kids, and she helps out with our funders called the Add Up Group, who because we're self-funded basically at Star Theatre. I mean, we've only just this year, after being in existence for 7 years, applied for our first grant, because up to now we've just been our own money, all the members put in their own money together. It's amazing we've survived this long.
But that's down to you, Marion. And I have to say a fair play to you, because you're doing great work up there.
Thank you for saying that, but
I
just it's really the mothers, and all the families, you know what I mean, that
pull
chip
together.
That's great, Tony. So I can't do it without them. But what I was saying was that we have a girl called Samantha Robb, who's a champion kickboxer. From Belfast, Samantha Robb.
Samantha Robb.
A Belfast woman as well. She's in the middle of doing a world title, I think, at the minute.
Good girl.
She's playing one of the stars in Belfast. She's one of the Titanic ship stewards in the play, and she's basically just adding a bit of glamour as well as Lily. Lily's so frilly into the show.
You wouldn't think of her that she was a boxer. She's this.
She's like a model.
This blonde sort of petite, sort of generally sort of cute and smiley. You wouldn't think, it wouldn't matter if I go with this girl in a dark alley. You wouldn't actually want to make her angry.
Yeah.
But she's just a sweet girl, and it's just like. Okay, like it is the old saying, I guess. You don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah,
exactly. Never do that. And I have to say, a good girl, and keep it that way. She's a lean, mean fight machine. That's why she's small and petite. And that's great. I'm glad to see. To see a good strong.
A good strong cast.
Cast like that. That's what you need, Marion, isn't it?
And I mean. It's just there's a lot of camaraderie sort of, sort of is going on now. But Neil is a great and of course we have Peter Francis Fahey, who is also our lead in Sleep Smile. He is also in the show built in Belfast. He's one of the leads.
Good on, Peter.
He plays Alfie Bright the Milkman.
Alfie and we love him. Milkman. You couldn't beat that. That's a good ring to it, isn't it?
And of course he banters with the audience. It's kind of interactive in a way as well.
He's definitely.
Turnaround skills with
definitely.
it.
It's like a TAE setup, is it? Like
kind of.
Turning education,
It is indeed.
I think as a character, he's definitely the sort of archetype type sort of flirting milkman who probably run off with everyone's wife if you let him.
He's doing the rounds there.
Yeah, he's definitely doing the rounds.
He flirts with Nurse Mary, I knew. He flirts with me big time, Nurse Mary, and he flirts with Samantha Robb online.
Yeah, he's definitely the naughty milkman.
Samantha Robb's threatened to box his ears, so he has to be
Girls,
careful.
Samantha, box the ears up and don't take any of the golf for the milkman there. No, but I mean, that's great. You know, already there's a good old buzz to this. You know.
Oh, crumbs! But we're delighted to get in the Big Life Centre, you know, because it's a fabulous art centre for exhibiting ordinary art as well from artists. And Peter Francis, he also is a keen painter, artist, and he has a manga type, anime type, fantasy art show going on the 9th. Which is a couple of days there, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a couple of days time up in the Big Life.
Yeah.
In that place. So.
Saturday.
Biggie Bigmore, who's the festival director, he's done well providing the community with something like that there, because that's, you know, it's only the second year of the festival.
Yeah.
So, you know, with all the fighting that was the last couple of summers ago, this is really something positive, you know, for that part of Belfast, you know.
Indeed.
That's just amazing.
But you've actually been involved with artwork and
Aye.
in the last Star Theatre company that I was in.
Yeah, I paint as well, Tony. So
That's right. That's what I'm getting at.
Aye.
You know, there was a lot of artwork on display, wasn't there?
Of course, we had Brian Keats. We were featuring his art as well. He exhibits in Dublin too. Brian and myself are hoping to put on a joint show at some stage in the future for painting.
Good man, Brian.
Brian Keats from Mackara.
Oh, from Mackara, is it?
And he works in Belfast in the Loft Studio, and that's his studio. And he's just slapped bang beside the Big Life Art Centre, so it's a nice wee buzz along that street.
You had a Loft Studio as well, didn't you, at one time?
I just sort of like kind of just visited his studio. That's right, I had the High Street one.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That's where we started. That's right,
where you
Tony.
started off. That's when I first met you, wasn't it?
I think it was.
It was.
It's that long ago.
God, there you go.
It's flowing in. I just can't
flying.
believe how quickly it's gone in.
Unbelievable.
You know, and everybody's doing so well. And it's like my son follows Tony online, yourself, constantly, all the stuff you do.
Good man, Lee.
You know what I mean?
Lee's a good friend. I mean, top man. You know.
And you were filmed in Sleep Smile at the start, and you sort of encouraged Miley, you know, to do it full time. Miley's graduated as a model now last year, so he's now gone into that kind of industry, the fashion industry as well. There's the fashion again. That's a trait that runs right through the Star Theatre.
Lee's off to a great start in life, isn't he? Between actor and model, you know what I mean? And
he never got a chance in mainstream school to do that. He never. We took him out. We home educated him. So he did. Me and his dad.
You know, because
that's how he's got
as I say, Marion, we're all still learning about the autism, but you've got a good handle of it. You know what you're doing.
So.
No, but you're involved. No, but you are involved in the Star Theatre.
Fun,
you know, you started the Star Theatre company for this.
Yeah, I did indeed.
And now it's still going.
Yeah.
And now that your plays are coming out, now a film's coming out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
good fun.
It's good fun. It's good fun, but it's very hard work.
It's hard work indeed, because
I'm trying to plan this, trying to get your head around it, and then you're looking after John and Lee as well. You know what I mean?
Because I'm actually a full-time carer, but because I know exactly what, you know, like Susan Boyle was coming from that sort of background, because she had to care full-time for her mother, and sort of her career kind of went back on the shelf type thing. I used to paint in my 20s, and now I'm getting a chance to exhibit my own work again after years of not exhibiting any of my paintings, you know. So she's an inspiration. Other people like her is an inspiration to people like us, you know. Because I'm in the spectrum too. I'm autistic as well, but only to a small degree. You know what I mean? But it runs in families.
It does indeed. Yeah.
I mean,
that's the only thing about it.
I think a great thing, and I'm grateful for Star Theatre taking me on. It is very much a sort of a family company. Production group, and you know, we help out and support each other. We also shout at each other a lot, because when you just got a great big group of sort of autistic spectrum people, it can get quite heated if you have a strong view about something. But we eventually
I'll give you a laugh. We have our own counsellor in the building. He has his own room. Oh yes.
And he's got his work cut out.
He's a psychiatrist.
Definitely.
And he's there in the building, just in case.
You're up, so you have a psychiatrist and all in the building.
Just in case.
But that's good, Marion.
But he's there, you know, because we kind of, just to help out, basically, he's a member of the theatre, you know, of the group, you know, and just he runs there, he runs his own wee place in there, you know what I mean, but he's there if we need him, sort of thing. So he helps out financially, you know what I mean, because we members pitch in. But it's great the way he's there, you know, if ever is needed, you know. But sometimes you just feel like letting off steam, going into his room, shouting and screaming, and then go out again. That's what I do.
Just to get rid of
When
it.
he's not there.
Yeah. But that has been done now and again. I think we all do that. We're all human beings at the end of the day. So the Star Theatre's going. It's going places.
It's getting there, hopefully.
It's getting there, yeah.
We're at the stage now we're applying for rolling grants, but of course the grants have been cut, you know, in Northern Ireland and the UK generally, but we're glad still to have a big membership, you know, that pitch in, but we're going for the rolling grant, you know, for things like small things like development and keeping the wee arts centre going, because where we are in Malone can be difficult enough, you know, the upkeep, you know, but it's correct building for what we need, because before that we just had a small one room, and now we have got 2 or 3 floors.
Yeah, it is a thing, you know, where
it's an amazing place.
It does have a lot of potential. I mean, being, you know, pretty much next door to the Queen's University, you know, it's a really affluent place, and it's a very buzzing place. So, you know, we wanted to do things as, you know, a theatre, costume and props workshop set on the top floor, editing studios, and, you know, just develop a building so we can just do a massive, you know, different workshops where the young people or even, you know, communities can actually, you know, come in and sort of get involved.
We have a community group there at the minute called Connected Awakenings from Alec Bell. He's a Scottish fella, and he's doing really well with community group up there.
Good.
And he's helping us out again as an associate member financially, you know, when his group comes in and then we cross over, you know, he comes to our classes, we go to his, sort of thing, and just help each other out, you know.
Marion, how do you keep track of all this?
I don't, it's really hard. That's why I have to scream in a psychiatrist's room from time to time.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Because I thought myself that when I was down with you in Stranmillis, I thought this girl's so busy, you know what I mean?
And I think I'm a wee bit mad. The madness keeps me going.
It's the madness that keeps me going. It's the
madness that keeps me going. It's the adrenaline.
It is. The buzz. The buzz keeps you going.
It definitely does.
So there's so much people coming and going.
Oh, it's great, you know. But it's because we have so much, you know, support, you know, the local people coming in. But especially with that building, you know, because it's such a fabulous building. I mean, the guy that owns the building, he's really good to us, and you know, he's very au fait with the arts, you know, and with disablement as well. You know, having disabled people in his family, and he's been so helpful, because up to now, you know, the rent's very reasonable, but up to now, you know, we've just not found the right place. We had to move 5 times in as many years because we couldn't get the right place with hardly any crime, you know, involved, and there's all these sorts of things that you get in Belfast going on and all this. But
and
we managed to survive.
Keep away from them all.
We managed to survive this life.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
But it's in our film Sleep Smile. The story is there, you know, of how development and stuff, and you'll see some of the bad side of Belfast in the film, but you'll see most of the positive, hopefully, in the film.
And when is the film going to? When is it due to screen?
We're hoping to get into the Chicago Festival next year with it, and also the Dublin Festival. You know what I mean? Northern Ireland Screen are kind of looking at it at the minute, hopefully.
Big shout out to Northern Ireland Screen.
And George Clark's giving us a hand too. George Clark, the director.
The director, George Clark, very good.
Just to give us a wee bit of guidance.
Of course.
Because at the minute we're very sort of like in our infancy as far as filmmaking goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll get there.
You will get there. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you keep it all together, because it's a lot going on.
Insanity, Tony else. Seriously.
But it's good. That's a good insanity.
And a little bit of help in the sense that, you know, I'm trying to remind her, delegate.
Yes, I've been told
and more delegating.
More delegation needs.
And more delegating. But it is great. You know, we're getting more funding, and more support, and hence me. And there's also sort of like again more people in to try and actually delegate jobs, so we can actually do more.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly,
it has been mainly Marion's sort of supported family who's actually done it up for the several years, but you know,
loads of families together too. You know, just helping out
people in like Michael helping out, the cinematographer. Though you can't see him, as you said, it is just behind the camera.
He's way over there. He's way over across the road. No, I'm joking. He's here in the studio, but he's a bit shy.
Yeah.
Michael's a bit shy. He works in a theatre company and he's shy.
Well, no, he prefers to stand behind the camera rather
because he's a
than
filmmaker. He's
a filmmaker.
He's our student filmmaker for Sleep Smile.
Michael, get in here and say hello. You're a filmmaker. I'm involved in the film.
He is not really dressed for the camera at the moment. He's definitely
dressed.
not.
Everybody's dressed for the Banter show. Don't worry about that. You know? We're all dressed for the Banter. As long as you've got clothes.
He's blushing. He's very good cinematographer, but he likes behind the camera. He likes people watching.
And Michael, you've experience of filmmaking and all so far, yeah? Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. So you're buzzing. You're really up for this, and as a good project then.
Yeah, it's a good place to work as well.
Yeah.
Really good friend.
And good group of people to work with.
We're very easy going.
And have you got like your project sort of structured out for this?
Yeah, but I've been taking a lot of notes and sort of setting out scenes and things like that.
Yeah, and getting your POV for the camera and stuff.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, well, then the man knows what he's doing.
He's
great.
He's written out a script also for the film for the play, to film the play as well, just as an experiment, to see. And then he's entering as a short for the film Sleep Smile. He's doing his own version of Sleep Smile for the festival, so he'll win a prize then, or go for a prize with that, So there was 2 students done that. The other one was Andrew Schofield, who was going to enter, but he's now left the placement because his 6 months are up. But I think he still has the entry to do for next year, so that's all fun as well. Good
So it's
progress,
all happening, Marion. It's all
progress. We hope.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
And when do you think you're going to go on tour in England then?
We're starting off in Chester on the 11th of October with Built in Belfast. And I have my cousin, he's a musician. He was a professor of music in Bearwood College in England, but he's helping us out with the music. We're doing an operatic thing, well, not with Built in Belfast, but this is a different project in the future. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen him in years, so it's nice to hook up with a family member because I'm in theatre now. And he thought, "You're not in theatre, are you?" I thought, "Oh dear, not another Kenny in theatre, oh dear." But there's no escaping us. He's from Wales, you know what I mean? He's Welsh, and it'd be lovely just to see him again, you know what I mean? He's helping out with the show. But prior to that, I wouldn't have, but just people they come in, you know what I mean? The more you do it, and the more, because it is family oriented, the whole thing is about family in autism, you know what I mean? He's not on the spectrum himself, but he supports what we do and stuff like that.
Oh, well,
another wee shout out for him, Chris Inston.
Chris Inston, big riser, Chris. Big shout out to you. You're doing great. Keep supporting him. Get this next playoff on the ground. You don't get it
Hopefully,
going.
Very talented pianist.
Very talented man.
Is that right? Yeah.
He's a good organist. So he is. He's worked with Ala Jones. So he has, and all these people. He's done Ice Steffens. But then again, that's Welsh, which is, I don't know a lot about, but I know he's done the
But he's involved in the big end, organist,
all that stuff, and he composes stuff,
Composer and all.
Composer, that's what we're trying to do. And we also work with a fabulous guy called Robin Sutton, who's also a composer who is in our film Sleep Smile.
Robin?
He plays Joe McCormick, and he's from Leicester, and he's a fabulous actor.
Oh, an amazing guy, is he?
Yeah, and he's also a composer. Very talented.
He's also
very talented man, musician.
He's also part of our future for the interactive 30 games of virtual theatre, because he is a very talented improv artist, improvised theatre, improvised acting, and he can act out people just on the spot. Well, other actors will need a script. He can just think up lines off the top of his head.
Again, he's in part of the spectrum too, and he's so talented, and all these hidden talents and things. And he said he was glad to get involved in a film, because up to that point he was basically just composing, and thinking. And I thought, well, here's a bit of talent I have to snap up straight away, because he's glad of the exposure, but we're more glad than him of his exposure, because to find somebody as talented as him, compositions, I mean, they're rare as hen's teeth.
That's
composers.
What they want, isn't it? That's what they're looking for.
They're as rare as hen's teeth, and we're also trying to do an opera eventually, on stage with that in the future. In Northern Ireland, we're teaming up with some well-known people, but that's all for the future, for another show.
The Star Theatre Company is a way ahead of self, friends. You know, and we're talking. I mean, you're
We're
talking
loony.
2018, 2019 here. You know, I mean,
I hope so.
19 years, you know,
Yeah,
watch
a long
it,
time.
a long,
If I
sort
ever
of long but
survive.
thick book by the time we finish.
Yeah.
Marion,
But we're
you're
all-
going to survive all this. If I ever survive, do you hear? She's going to be. I'm telling you now, you definitely are going places.
We're looking
The
forward,
Star
thank you.
Theatre Company's getting bigger by
That's
the
great.
year, to me, anyway.
I'm really pleased that you asked us on today because I always like to get a chance to dance and talk and yap about myself. So
Yeah, but that's.
I'm glad of the opportunity.
Listen, that's what the Banter Show's all about, friends. You want to
got my
come in and
grip.
promote any of your work, get in here and promote it on the Banter
Straight
Show,
away.
you know. And that's why I get on to you, Marion, and you know, as it says, I
It's
get
nice
on
of you
to
to do
Neil.
it. It's nice of you. I love
And,
being here. I love
you
being
know,
here.
but
I love
it's-
Yuri, so do I love it. I haven't been in it in years, and just lovely to be back again.
Yeah.
So is I. So is. I'm
Yuri's
going to travel a bit more now. You know.
Nuri's
shows.
changed now. It's all
Has indeed.
it's all brightened up.
It's great.
It's great to see it. It's not bombed out anymore. You know, it's badly bombed out many years ago.
Yeah.
But you know, there's
great.
a good art scene about Newry as well.
There
There's
is indeed.
the arts centre and the town hall and a
Fantastic.
couple of real good venues about for plays and stuff.
Oh,
You know.
because we're wanting to put it on here, so we are.
There
We're
you
definitely
go.
wanting to go on and do it in Newry because, as I say, Neil Heaney, our fabulous actor from this part of the woods, yet again.
Neil, great
Neil
lad.
has been encouraging us and stuff, and we'll be getting here next.
And Neil's brothers
Watch
are
out, Newry.
actors. Neil's brothers are actors as well.
Aye, that's
Oh
right. You
yeah,
were saying that.
they're all
aye.
athletes and everything. Great family, you know.
Oh,
Great family.
and like his dad is a lovely man too.
Eddie.
He came in and we met him, you know, and
Was Eddie
supporting
happy?
it. Eddie was up
Eddie,
and
you were
about.
supposed to come into the Banter Show. You rascal, you. I need you in here for the bit of banter. Eddie was actually supposed to come in and
Was
couldn't
he?
make it, and then Neil come in. He says, "Where's your dad?" Straight away. But yeah, Eddie, I do want you
They're
in, but
inseparable, those two. Like most of the time, like I feel like, you know, but they're so busy. You know, like one's doing one thing, and, you know, but they're great. So they are fabulous.
yeah.
Pair
Yeah,
of them.
but it's great to see there's a lot of talent about all over,
Oh, yeah,
isn't there? You know, there's actors and there's,
Oh.
you know, stage actors, there's,
Especially in Northern Ireland, you
screen
know.
actors.
This boy here, he's been approached by George Clark because he was photographed online with one of his costumes, right? And George
Mm-hmm.
Clark says to me, "Who's that new actor?" And I says, "Excuse me, that's not an actor. That's our media officer."
There
But
you
he
go.
looked like, he says,
It
"Oh,
was-
is he not from
it
Game of
was
Thrones?"
set-
I says, "No, he just
No,
looks
it
good."
was a
And
Game
his
of
costumes.
Thrones. That's
the
the
hair.
thing. I tend to specialise in sort of like Game of Thrones,
Medieval.
medieval style costumes when I do them, and yeah, it was just it was actually a photograph originally taken by my beloved, I have to say now, late artist at sea, Paul Todd. The people just called him Toddy. And you know, again, another talented guy, and really passed way before his time in his 30s, believe it or not. But yeah, he took this photo. So the fact of a director thought this, you know, his photography was that good, and mixed with, of course, with the costume skills, thinking, is that a still from the future, you know, episode of Game of Thrones? No, you know. So yeah, it's nice for me. Passed away best mate for sort of getting that recognition. I bet he's sort of smiling up there, thinking
Yeah.
about it.
He's a bit of a pioneer, so he was.
Recognised, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
very flattering when someone thinks your costume is from you know something as big as TV series of Game of Thrones, or so, you know, or
But he's
a
very
well-known
modest.
director.
He's very modest because he should be an actor, right? And we've
Yeah.
approached him to be. And of course, we get everybody
No,
roped into everything.
I'm
Tony.
very much.
We get,
I'm very much of a sort of. I'm not so much a king, but a kingmaker. That's how I like to think
There
of
you
myself.
go. Only the Banter Show, friends. You heard it
Oh,
live here.
all right. Oh,
He's not a king, but he's a king maker. Did you ever hear anything?
Yeah,
I've
I-
never. That's a force for me.
Yeah.
Enjoyed
very,
that one.
Very much so.
That's a great
But in
statement
this
there.
case, a queen maker.
Oh,
A queen maker, sort of rather than
Queen Kenny. We'll bow down to you.
I dare not say rather not be a queen. That's a totally different line of
Yes.
The
conversation.
eyebrows up
best
here.
not go there.
Yes,
Indeed.
but yeah, I very much prefer. And in some respects, I'm raw like our good Michael over
Yeah.
there. I sort of prefer to sort of help
Yeah,
it, sort
behind
of
the
push
scenes.
things, you know, along rather
We're
than
very glad
messy
to have Alex, you know what I mean?
yes,
Because
stand behind it.
without your support, you know what I mean, we wouldn't have got the LARP development going
There
in
you
Northern
go.
Ireland at all.
That's
We wouldn't
it.
even have had the chance to go anywhere near and to mix with, you know, different communities.
Yes.
Where Alex is from, you know what I mean, and or a chance for them to travel and stuff. I mean, there's only a small LARP group movement in Northern Ireland. It's based mostly around Queens, which is to some people, you know, quite elitist in a way, you know, because
Yeah.
some of the other ones, I mean, we work with the women in the Shankle Centre, you know, and as well, you know what I mean, and their kids aren't getting a chance, you know, to do some stuff.
It's
Yeah.
a way,
They're now
yeah.
getting that chance.
It's,
you know,
But
to
now,
do
now
together.
they are getting the
Yeah,
chance.
they're getting the chance
I
together.
mean, the
with-
Thanks to
thing-
yourself
the thing
and Star
is-
Theatre.
Yeah, the thing about of this form of theatre, and especially I think to sort of appeal with autism kids,
Yeah.
is that of course a lot of the time you have to read scripts and it's all preset. Because this is far more improvisation led, you're given usually the participants are given a situation and you have to actually improvise around it. So it's far more a sort of immediate. I mean, we use a sort of like a sort of I guess you could say a video game format. So it has some sort of structure where it leads from the plot leads from actually A to B to C. Usually where they have to sort of walk along a course or walk along a set was actually set characters they meet, but though the characters they meet are sort of got some lines that, you know, participants and the other kids have to sort of improvise with the actor of what the, you know, actors or actress actually lines they give to them. So they don't necessarily have to bother with lines. You know, it keeps them sharp.
They
and
become the character
they
themselves.
become the
They become their
character,
own
the
character,
help
which they
character.
make, and we encourage that all the time because each autism person is so talented. You know, they make their own character. Basically, improvisation is their forte, sort of thing. That's why they do gaming a lot, because they want to be the character. They want to actually live
They're
it
actually
in real
creative.
time.
They just need the creativity brought out of them.
Yeah, just need it
Give
pulled
us
a
out.
way of
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately, friends, our studio manager gave me the time up. I didn't realise it there. Well, this has been a long banter show, believe it or not. This has been a long banter show.
Oops.
So, no, it was great. Absolutely fantastic. Marion, thanks for coming in the
Thanks a
studio.
million.
And it's
Thank
great
you.
to see you again.
Great to see
Alex,
you.
Same to
it's
you.
been a blast. Michael, cheers. Thanks for coming. Best wishes with all on set and with all the filming, you know. So, friends, it's been a blast. Check out the Star Theatre Company in Belfast, and they're going places. So, from me and the guys here, two to the right. Just give two to the right, one to the left. Do that there, and give everybody a big razor. Friends, razor. We're out of here.
Destination Banter with Tony Smith. Riser.